Christos Voskras, Risna Voskras. Christ is risen, indeed he is risen. This is Father Basil Malovany again, doing another podcast, and hopefully everyone is doing well in wherever they're listening from. It's a very rainy day where I am in Canada. Rain has been coming down all day, and the streets are getting pretty wet and flooded. But that's just the way it is in our springtime. And I was teaching again today. I hadn't taught in a while, but I was subbing in a school again today. And it was a good experience. Children, the students are always willing to learn and willing to be respectful and to be conscientious of what's being taught to them. And I actually have a funeral tonight in my area, funeral prayers and a funeral tomorrow. And maybe that's what I'll be, just a few thoughts about that for a couple minutes before I have to go to the funeral prayers. Just what is our life all about here on this earth? What is our destiny, Every time we go to someone's funeral, to a loved one's funeral, we should think about those things. What is their destiny in life? And our destiny is not to live here forever. Our destiny is not to live on this earth for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. That's not our destiny. Our destiny is to be with God in the heavenly kingdom. And it's difficult to think that way. It's difficult to put our mind around the fact that we are not going to be on this earth forever. And people don't want to talk about death. And one of my parishes, I had a kind of an adult faith formation the other day and talked about funeral rites in our Ukrainian Catholic tradition. And, just talking about the whole aspect of death. And not something we want to talk about. Certainly not something that we teach our children about, even though it's a part of life. I really don't know, what are we scared about? What are we scared about death? Because we think this earth is all that we have. We think that everything on this earth is, we have to, grab hold of it and never let it go. But that's not true at all. That's not true at all. We have to consider the fact that this earth is transitory. This earth is not going to last forever. And the things that we have on this earth are going to decay. Even Jesus said that, do not store in your hearts the things that, where robbers are going to break in and steal, or rust is going to corrode. We can't just focus on the material things of this earth. We have to focus on something much greater, much more spiritual in our lives. But again, it's so difficult for us to think about that, to think about something beyond our life here on this earth, because this is all we know. This is all we understand. For most people who do not believe in God, and I think it's probably the majority of the world now, it's hard for them to focus beyond what they see on this earth. It's hard for them to focus on something that they can't see, but as Christians, we can experience God in so many ways. We experience that divine, and that divine experience gives us confidence, gives us that feeling of peacefulness, that feeling that everything's going to be okay in the end. Everything is going to be fine, even through all our tribulations in life, even through all our trials in life, even through all of our bad experiences we have in this life, our sorrows, our suffering, that in the end, there's going to be something greater. There's going to be something coming greater after we leave this world. This is what our faith is all about. This is what we have to trust in God and helping us to go through these difficulties we have sometimes in this life. So, as we, every time we go to a funeral, every time we go to we experience someone's death, of course we're going to be sad for a moment. We're going to be sad for a while if we lose our loved ones or if we lose those that we've spent our life with. But we can't be sad forever, because that sadness, if we continually be sad, that's saying that we don't trust who God really is. We don't trust that God will make things better for us in the afterlife. We don't trust that God has something planned for us in heaven that is much more majestic than anything we could see on this earth. That God has something planned for us that's beyond anything, any happiness we have on this earth. We have to remember that, We have to trust in God, in His holiness, in His divine essence, that He has a plan for us, and that plan includes the heavenly kingdom if we accept that plan in our hearts. Or we can reject His plan. God gives us the free will to reject Him, and God obviously is hurt when we reject Him. He doesn't want us to reject Him, but He doesn't make that choice for us. We have to make our own choices in life. So if we choose to be away from God all our life, if we choose to reject God and to do evil in our life and not seek repentance and not seek reconciliation with God and those that we've hurt, and not seek forgiveness and not seek peace and harmony, well, that's our choice. We have made our own choices, and God has nothing to do with those choices. We made them ourselves. So we make that choice to reject God. So that the funeral gospel we read this every funeral in our Ukrainian Catholic tradition talks about that. Jesus in the Gospel of John is talking about to the people he was talking to, saying, if there's going to be a time where Jesus is going to judge everyone who lived in this world, those that are living, those who are dead. And He's going to judge all of us for our actions. Every one of us is going to be judged for our actions. And don't think that we can hide what we did. Everything's going to be known. Every secret thought in our heart, in our mind, is going to be known to everyone. This is the biblical message, So, it's we know that we are sinners. We know that we are not perfect, but we still have to strive for reconciliation, strive for repentance, strive for forgiveness. We have to strive for those things, because if we don't strive for those things, if we just continue to live our life without God, we are basically damning ourselves to hell. There's no other way to put it. If we don't strive for holiness, if we don't strive for reconciliation and to forgiveness, we are saying we don't want God. We are saying we don't care about God, and that nothing that God gives us is important. That we want to do things ourselves, that we are selfish, that we want everything to be on our own accord, not with what God's will is in our life. And at the end, we will be judged for those actions that we did. We'll be judged for our thoughts. We'll be judged for our feelings, how we treat other people, how we talk to other people. Do we talk respectfully about other people? Do we talk, or do we gossip? Do we forgive? Do we love one another with our whole heart, whole mind, our whole soul? These are the kinds of things that we have to focus upon. So anyways, God bless you, and just think about every time that we go to someone's funeral, think about our own destiny. Think about what we are living on this life for. God bless. Talk to you soon.